I don't know whose this is or why that wolf left it here, but at least now I won't freeze to death. I feel warmer already. There's a note in one of the pockets. Since I can't go back the way I came, maybe these tracks will lead me to shelter. Avalanche Ridge. Not exactly reassuring. The snow's so deep, I'm sinking up to my knees. If I want to follow those tracks, I'm gonna need some snowshoes. Ski tracks, probably Yanni's. I bet if I follow them, I'll wind up back at the lodge. If I don't get warm soon, I may not make it. Much better. I was really cold.
If you think I'm serving this, you're loco.
Nancy, hi! What the heck happened out there?
Actually, I'm not quite sure.
I walked out to Icicle Lake to see how you were doing in the fishing shack, only there wasn't any fishing shack. There wasn't even a lake. The ice was all busted up like somebody dropped a bomb on it.
All I know is after I caught that 2-foot northern pike, I walked outside and someone knocked me unconscious with an ice ball. The next thing I knew, there was an explosion and I was on an ice floe in the middle of the lake with no coat and no fish.
Somebody decked you with an ice ball, then blew up the lake? Holy moly!
Probably you. Couldn't stand the thought of losing to a girl.
Har har. The good news is you're okay. The bad news? No more ice fishing.
Well, I'll let you get back to beating Lou.
Okie dokie.
What's up?
Would it be all right if I borrowed your snowshoes?
No.
I wouldn't need them for long, just for an hour or so.
Well, in that case, no.
What's the matter with you? Afraid of cooties? Let her use your snowshoes.
I've only got one pair, and they're like precious, you know? Sorry, dude, the answer's no. What can I say?
Well, I'll let you go.
Ditto, dude.
What you need?
Would you happen to know the combination to the lock on the display case that has the snowshoes in it?
Only person who'd know that is Chantal. Just cross your fingers that she wrote it down. Gal's got a memory like a butterfly net. Of course, there's no need for you to go repeating that.
I'll get out of your hair now.
Good.
I'm glad for the chance to talk once again. There is something I must explain.
By all means, explain away.
What I said before about wolves, it is because my grandmother was killed by wolves. Killed and devoured.
Are you serious?
Years ago, when my mother was a little girl, her mother, my grandmother, was on her way back from the village on her motor scooter, which was and still is the only means of transportation most Fredonians can afford. It was January, and the sun had just set, and it was dark, very cold. There were thousands of wolves in the countryside that winter. At night they would roam in huge, hungry packs. My grandmother was halfway home when she came upon a young man waving from the side of the road for her to stop. He too had been on a scooter, but his had broken down, and wolves were gathering all around him, preparing to attack. My grandmother, of course, stopped, and he leapt on behind her, and they took off down the road with the wolves, dozens of them, chasing after them. But with 2 people riding it, her scooter was slow, much too slow, and the wolves soon caught up with them. And when one of the wolves seized my grandmother's boot in its teeth and started to pull, instead of helping her, the man pushed her off the bike. It instantly gained speed and he got away. My grandmother, set upon by the wolves, did not.
If she died, how do you know that's what happened?
Tormented by guilt, the young man eventually confessed. He went to prison for several years, and the wolves were hunted year-round until the countryside was rid of them. But the damage was done. And so, I'm happy to talk to you about any subject except wolves. About them, I have nothing to say.
I really need to get somewhere in the backcountry and was thinking you could maybe give me a cross-country ski lesson or 2?
Out of the question. I don't have the time, the equipment, or, frankly, the desire. I am sorry.
That's all for now.
We'll talk again, I'm sure.
Hi, it's Nancy. Listen, I think I'm onto something, but I desperately need snowshoes. Could you give me the combination to the lock on the display case so I could use the ones in there?
I certainly can, but I'm not going to until you do something for me.
Like what?
I'm going to fax you a survey that Tino came up with. He says you're to fill most of it out by observing the people staying at the lodge, rather than just asking them the questions outright. He says that would put them on their guard. When it's all filled out, fax it to Tino. The results will help him come up with a profile that will help you to determine which of our guests is responsible for the accidents.
I really don't think that's necessary.
Well, Tino does, so I'm faxing it to you even as we speak. In fact, it's done. So why don't you go get it right now? I'll wait.
Great. I just hope the questions aren't too dumb. Got it.
Good. Now remember, when you're done filling it out, fax it directly to Tino. And he wants you to call him before you do so he can turn his machine on.
You'll hear from me again later.
Answers, Nancy. I need answers.
What do you want?
You messed with my rifle, didn't you?
This I gotta hear.
Excuse me?
This fax just came for you. It's from the wacko left-wing wildlife gang that paid you to screw up my rifle so I'd miss that wolf.
How dare you talk to me like that? I'm leaving this place right now.
Good. You just got yourself an escort off the premises.
Order up.
Oh, and by the way, don't go adding Paprika to Lou Talbot's food anymore. He hates Paprika. What you need?
I couldn't help but overhear the argument you and Miss Camillo had.
She messed up my rifle so I couldn't shoot that wolf, so I tossed her out. Told her to take her little crusade somewhere else.
Have you told Chantal that you threw her out?
No, not yet. She's not going to be happy. But by golly, that woman was a menace. Anybody who deliberately sabotaged a man's rifle is capable of anything. But at least now I know why I missed that wolf. And like I told her as I was giving her the bum's rush, next time, I won't miss.
I'd better get back upstairs.
Good.
That's weird. The rock that had the fossil in it is gone. I'm not going out there again. Too dangerous. I feel warmer already. That's for me.